Chai! Chai! There is God, oh! There is God, oh!
One Nigerian woman once said, "There is God, oh." And that phrase echoed across the nation. Another quietly navigated the storm of civil war while delivering humanitarian relief, and one first lady boldly criticized her own husband's administration, all from within Aso Rock. These moments are just three among the 15 remarkable women who have shaped Nigeria's presidency since 1963. Most Nigerians can't name half of them. This isn't fluff, it's about power, courage, and influence that changed the nation. This is RNN TV. I am Esther Olatuju. Let's break this down clearly. Starting from when Nigeria became a republic. Most people don't know this part. Nigeria actually did not have a first lady until 1963. Flora Azikiwe, 1963 to 1966. Flora Azikiwe wasn't just the first, she was the template. Nigeria's first lady serving after the republic was declared on October 1st, 1963. But here's what they don't teach you in school. Flora was the patron of the influential Home Science Association, championing women's empowerment in domestic life and public welfare. She wasn't just a ceremonial figure. She was actively building platforms for Nigerian women. Known for her elegance and poise, Flora promoted Nigerian culture on diplomatic visits abroad. She set the standard, and every first lady after her would be measured against. Victoria Agoye-Ironsi, 1966. Victoria Agoye-Ironsi's time was tragically brief, just from January 16th to July 29th, 1966. But in those 6 months, she elevated the visibility and dignity of the First Lady's role during one of Nigeria's most turbulent periods. Most Nigerians know her husband died in the July 1966 coup. But Victoria's grace under pressure showed the nation what strength looks like in crisis. Victoria Gowon, 1969 to 1975. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Victoria Gowon was Nigeria's first lady during the Civil War, but she brought something unique to the role. She was a trained nurse. Victoria represented calm and unity in a nation under siege. She advocated a national healing with the motto, "No victor, no vanquished," a legacy we still remember today. Her style and soft diplomacy earned widespread recognition, and she showed how a first lady could be a symbol of hope during the darkest times. Ajake Mohammed, 1975 to 1976. Here's a story that will surprise you. Ajake Mohammed was a former dental therapist who became Nigeria's first conservation pioneer first lady. After her husband's assassination, she did not disappear from public life. Instead, she founded and now runs 2 major botanical gardens, the Murtala Mohammed Memorial Botanical Garden in Lagos and the Serious Momentum and Botanic Garden in Abuja. But most people don't know this part. She leads the Murtala Mohammed Foundation, advancing human rights, education, and environmental sustainability. The woman turned personal tragedy into a lifetime of service to Nigeria. Oluremi Teju Obasanjo, 1976 to 1979, the first Esther to be First Lady. And she broke ground by maintaining an independent platform for women's engagement. As First Lady, she shapes the role into something more civic and leadership-oriented. Let's not prove that being First Lady did not mean being silent. She created pathways for future First Ladies to have their own voice and their own agenda. Hadiza Shagari, 1979 to 1983. Hadiza Shagari ushered Nigeria into its second republic as First Lady of our first democratically elected president after military rule. She focused on women's education and health, particularly in northern Nigeria, working to bridge gaps that government programs weren't addressing. Sadly, we lost Hadiza in 2021, but her work in women's empowerment continues to impact lives today. The 1980s brought military rule back, economic crisis, and some of the most influential first ladies in our history. Safinatu Buhari, 1983 to 1985. Safinatu Buhari served during Nigeria's economic transition in the 1980s. While her public role was low profile, her presence symbolized stability during military-led governance. Sometimes, the most important contribution a First Lady can make is providing a sense of continuity during uncertain times. Mariam Babangida, 1985 to 1993. Let's talk about the most ambitious First Lady program in Nigerian history, Mariam Babangida's Better Life program for rural women. This wasn't just a charity initiative. Mariam incorporated microfinance, vocational training, and healthcare outreach into one massive program. It reached millions of Nigerian women and became the template for every major First Lady initiative that followed. Love her or criticize her, you cannot ignore the scale of what Miriam accomplished. She proves the First Ladies could run programs as complex as government ministries. Margaret Shoneko, 1993. Margaret Shoneko held the First Lady position for just 3 months during the interim national government. But sometimes, the most important thing you can do is represent civility during a critical transition. Margaret embodied dignity during one of Nigeria's most uncertain political periods. That matters more than people realize. Miriam Abacha, 1993 to 1998. Miriam Abacha launched the Family Support Program, focusing on maternal and infant health. She was part of establishing institutional healthcare in Nigeria, notably contributing to the National Hospital Abuja. Here's the complex truth about Nigerian politics. Even during controversial periods, programs that helped ordinary Nigerians continue to run. Miriam's health initiatives saved lives. Fatih Lami Abubakar, 1998 to 1999. Regardless of the political context, Fatih Lami Abubakar presided over Nigeria's transition back to democracy. He supported grassroots reconciliation efforts that helped stabilize Nigeria's return to civilian rule. Sometimes, the most important work happens behind the scenes. Fatih's reconciliation programs laid groundwork for the peaceful 1999 elections. Stella Obasanjo, 1999 to 2005. Stella Obasanjo founded the Child Care Trust and elevated the First Lady's role to global visibility. She brought international attention to Nigerian children's welfare issues. Her sudden death in 2005 generated national grief and shocked the entire country. Stella showed how a First Lady could use international platforms to benefit Nigerian children. Soraya Raduwa, 2007 to 2010. Soraya Raduwa faced something unprecedented, navigating a constitutional crisis during her husband's prolonged illness. She emerged as a pivotal figure for government continuity. The doctrine of necessity period couldn't have been managed without Turai's behind-the-scenes work. She essentially helped keep Nigeria stable during one of our most uncertain constitutional moments. Patience Jonathan, 2010 to 2015. Dame Patience Jonathan, the woman who gave us "There is God," that catchphrase captivated the nation. But behind the viral moment, Patience was running serious programs. Our Women for Change initiative focused on grassroots women empowerment. She proved that the First Lady could be both entertaining and effective. The combination of personality and policy made her one of Nigeria's most memorable First Ladies. Aisha Buhari, 2015 to 2023. Aisha Buhari became the First Lady to openly criticize government operations while still living in Aso Rock. Her famous mention of a cabal was a bold redefinition of what the First Lady role could be. Aisha proved that First Ladies don't have to be silent supporters. They can be independent voices, even when that creates controversy. She changed the game completely. Oluremi Tinubu, 2023 till present. And now we have Senator Oluremi Tinubu, a former senator who brought decades of political experience to Aso Rock before becoming First Lady. She launched the Renewed Hope initiative, blending political survey with philanthropic action. For the first time, we have a First Lady who already had her own national political profile. That is going to make our approach very different from everyone who came before. The bigger picture. These women did not merely fill ceremonial seats. They reinvented the office of the First Lady. From Flora Azikwe's cultural diplomacy to Mariam Babangida's massive social programs, from Aisha Buhari's political independence to Ajoke Mohammed's environmental legacy. Each one crafted our own version of what leadership looks like. And here's what most people don't realize. There is nothing in our constitution that defines what a First Lady should do. These 15 women created the role as they lived it. They made the rules as they went along. From pioneering empowerment programs to public activism and inclusive leadership, each crafted her own legacy. That tells you something important about Nigerian women. Give us a platform and we will build something that lasts. Your turn. Who do you think left the greatest impact on our nation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We are reading every single one. And here's a question that is going to spark debate. Should the First Lady's role be constitutionally defined, or does its flexible nature let it evolve uniquely, just as these women have? Let's talk about it. If you found this deeper look inspiring, hit like, subscribe to RNN TV, and share this with anyone who only recognizes one or two names from this list. Next week on RNN TV, we're uncovering Nigeria's powerhouse women who never held that title, but changed history all the same. Trust me, you don't want to miss that one.